Greetings all, Ferrariman601 here. You know what? It's time for a rant. Yes, it is high time for a rant, this time about the United States Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last couple of days, you know all about the bumps at COTA. Yes, the storm that has been brewing across social media and even across the official Sky Sports broadcasts covering the Formula One action in progress. Well, racetracks, like any other road, are outside, and they're on the ground, which is also outside, which means that the ground and any tarmac thereupon is going to be subjected to diverse and, in many cases, divergent climatic conditions throughout the course of the year, because we have these things called seasons. Yes, seasons. The weather changes according to the time of the year that we're in, which itself is determined by us entirely artificially with regard to the relative position of the sun and the moon in terms of where they are in relation to the Earth, because the Earth orbits the sun, because we got rid of that whole Terra-centric or Earth-centric or whatever the hell it's called, centric theory of the solar system long ago. As we orbit the sun throughout the course of a year and the duration of one orbit, in other words, a roughly circular, it's actually an ellipse, path around the sun that any planet in our solar system or any other that we know of takes, we call that different area in our orbit a season. Also, the Earth, it rotates by itself. It's spinning as it is orbiting the sun. So we've got multiple motifs of circularity going on, which means that as the Earth rotates on an axis, because it's tilted a bit, one side of the Earth, relatively speaking, will be facing the sun more directly than the other, in that we're tilted a little bit closer or a little bit farther from the sun, depending on where we are in our orbit, which corresponds to our time of year, which corresponds to our seasons. In the summertime, it often gets warmer, and in the winter, it often gets cooler. Unless you happen to live exactly on the equator where it's basically summer all the time, you have seasons. And they express themselves to differing degrees depending whereupon you are on the surface of our great big beautiful blue Earth. This means that as things get hotter or colder, they expand and contract with thermal effects. And this, when we apply it to roads, means that things break, or that things move a little bit, or that things just deteriorate and break down and fall apart. In so many words, that causes a bump, or a hole, or a crack, or any number of things that can cause perturbations in the travel of a vehicle upon said road. That is what is happening at Circuit of the Americas, and that is what has gotten a whole bunch of people all worked up in a frenzy, talking about how the United States of America has no capacity to put on a Formula One race, because look at the state of this track. It's so bumpy, the drivers are complaining about maybe even getting hurt going over these bumps, or the bumps causing accidents, or slowing the cars down, or compromising car setup. Well, I don't know what happened to the particular breed of racing driver that partakes in Formula One, but by and large, oh my God, how weak can some of these people get? Honestly, what happened to the idea of you put the helmet on, you strap into the car, and the world just melts away because right now the whole point of your existence is going faster than the other guy, and hopefully at the end of 2 hours you win something. What happened to that? Do I need to remind these guys that their profession inherently involves taking risks? And taking risks usually stems from the idea that, hey, things aren't perfect. This is a little scary. This is a little dangerous. And you willingly signed up to do this. Now, of course, we know that safety is important, and we have some great safety technologies in motorsport today, and I don't think that anybody in their right mind would say, legitimately, we need to get rid of most of these things because they're stupid. No, that's a ridiculous argument. But we're talking about bumps in a road on a racetrack that's 8 years old at this point. It's a little bit older. I started building this place in 2010, I believe, but we've been going here for 8 years. It's never been resurfaced in that time. And I don't know about you who drive and, the roads that you take every day. Most likely, those roads were laid down maybe 50 years ago, or even longer in many cases. So, yes, things change over time, and you're going to start to get bumps, and if maintenance is not done, things start to deteriorate. It's the same thing on a racetrack. They change, and this is a good thing. Dario Franchitti on Twitter, being basically the sole voice of reason that I've been seeing so far, talking about how he, personally, has been surprised by many Formula One drivers' comments. He says, "I always felt that bumps increase the challenge and add a whole new dimension to any circuit. But if you can get over them better than the competition, then you gain an advantage." Thank you very much, Dario Franchitti. Of course, multiple Indy 500 winner. He sounds like a racing driver. All these other people who are going on Twitter and complaining about the state of affairs and talking about, Formula One they shouldn't go to America anymore. Nobody has any clue what they're talking about anymore. They can't possibly come here. Look at the state of this place. It's ridiculous. Yeah. This is dumb. This is really, really, really fucking dumb. All right? What's the point of this? I'll quote Sebastian Vettel here. Is this racing or ping pong? I don't know, because what is this? Are we supposed to be going out here and putting on an event and showcasing the best drivers in the fastest cars in the world? Or is this a competition to see who can look like the biggest complainer? Because quite honestly, this whole weekend has been tarnished by Sky Sports making all of these tongue-in-cheek references about American culture and talking about how should we pronounce NASCAR properly? Is it NASCAR or is it NASCAR? No, shut up. All of you, shut the hell up. And I really have to wonder, does Formula One even want the American audience at this point? Because with all of this stuff going on, with the media coverage, particularly from Sky Sports, talking about all of this crap, making stereotypes of American culture, going on and on about how bumpy the track is, quite honestly, you wonder why Formula One just has not taken off in the United States. Well, that, quite honestly, is the reason. I don't know why it is, but Formula One in general, they appear to look at Americans and the United States and the American motorsports community as being somehow inferior, as being unappreciative, or having a lack of capacity to understand the finer intricacies of European motorsport. Like, are you kidding me? Are you really, really going to go out there and say that? Are you going to go out and talk to Mario Andretti, who's at the U.S. Grand Prix this weekend, Formula One world champion Mario Andretti, and say that the flag that he raced under isn't good enough for this sport, that the people who march under that flag aren't worthy of partaking in it or enjoying it? And then you're going to throw these stupid-ass stereotypes at everybody, trying to belittle us? No. No. Absolutely not. It's a disgrace. It is a proper disgrace. Really, there are plenty of knowledgeable motorsports fans in the United States, and of course we follow all sorts of different disciplines. We have our own, and we follow others that happen all around the world, Formula One included, and personally, you want to put me up against one of your pundits over there, if you want to put me up against Will Buxton and have a serious discussion about motorsport, I'm pretty sure I'd wipe the floor with that jackass. By the way, I wonder how the traffic is in Tokyo. Moron. Qualifying sucked. It was boring as all hell. Good job, Valtteri Bottas, going out there and getting pole position. Lewis Hamilton's absolutely no place. He's going to win the world championship anyway. Who cares at this point? But good job on him. Lando Norris setting fastest time in Q1. Good job, McLaren. Just be more consistent next time, and maybe you'll actually do something useful. I don't know. Coda sucks as a track, honestly. Shouldn't be surprised. It was designed by Herman Tilke. Every corner, particularly Sector 1, every corner is just ever so slightly too tight, which means that the cars get unsettled as you got to jump on the brakes or back way out of the throttle to make sure you get around a corner, and they're being idiotic with track limits per usual. At the top of the hill at the end of Sector 1, they're allowing people to go basically all the way into New Mexico if they want to, but turn 19 and turn 20, no! You can't possibly take the IndyCar line through there, which actually is faster and makes more sense. No, if you go a millimeter beyond that white line with your left side tires, your time gets thrown out. Sorry, Alex Albon. Really, I don't get it. I don't get it at all at this point. Formula One doesn't like the United States, and quite honestly, the United States doesn't like Formula One very much. Stuff like this is only going to be making that problem worse. Apparently, you learned nothing from Indy 2005 when you pissed off a lot of people. I don't know. I really don't know. Just a crazy stream of consciousness rant here. Is anybody really interested in this race tomorrow? Bottas is probably going to win, or Hamilton's going to get inspired, and then there's going to be a call from James on lap 43. But whatever the case, there it is. And I don't like what I'm seeing this weekend, and I don't know. Maybe this was entertaining for some of you, at least all 5 of you who actually give a damn. Until next time, Ferrari Mount 601 saying thanks very much for watching, and of course, we will see you soon.